The Nexus Station cantina buzzed with the usual mix of interstellar travelers, Centaurians nursing their methane cocktails, a group of crystalline Vectar harmonizing in frequencies that made the walls vibrate, and various other species from across the galaxy. Jackson sat at the far end of the bar, his weathered hands wrapped around a bottle of genuine Earth beer, a luxury that cost him 3 days' wages from his cargo hauling job. Beside him, Lily traced patterns in the condensation of her drink, her auburn hair catching the bioluminescent lighting. She was telling him about her latest archaeological discovery on Kepler 442b, when the temperature in the room seemed to drop several degrees. And then I realized the symbols weren't just decorative, they were actually... Lily's words died in her throat as every conversation in the cantina ceased simultaneously. The doors hissed open with mechanical precision, and through them stepped something that made Jackson's primitive human brain scream danger signals. 8 feet of rippling muscle and chitinous armor, the creature moved with predatory grace on 4 powerful legs. Its elongated skull housed 6 glowing red eyes, and mandibles clicked ominously as it surveyed the room. Jackson recognized it immediately, a Carnsey hunter, one of the apex predators of the Outer Rim. The cantina's patrons began filing out in orderly panic. The Centaurians abandoned their drinks, their methane suits hissing as they hurried toward the exits. The Vectar's harmonious singing turned into discordant squeaks of terror. Even Grax, the massive Thurian bouncer who'd never backed down from a fight in his 40 years of service, quietly slipped behind the bar. The Carnsey hunter's head swiveled slowly, taking in the fleeing crowd before its multiple eyes fixed on Jackson and Lily. It began advancing with deliberate steps, each footfall echoing like thunder in the now silent bar. "Jackson," Lily whispered, her voice barely audible. "We should probably..." "Yeah," Jackson agreed, not taking his eyes off the approaching predator. "Probably." But as they started to slide off their stools, Jackson's elbow caught his beer bottle. It tumbled toward the floor in what felt like slow motion. Without thinking, Jackson lunged forward to catch it, his shoulder slamming hard into the bar's metal edge. "Ouch!" The exclamation burst from his lips as pain shot through his arm. He managed to catch the bottle just before it hit the floor, but the sudden movement had put him directly in the hunter's path. The creature loomed over him, mandibles spreading wide to reveal rows of razor-sharp teeth. Jackson looked up at the terrifying predator, then at Lily's horrified expression, then at the bottle in his hand. A strange calm settled over him, the same weird composure that had gotten him through asteroid field navigation, space pirate attacks, and that unfortunate incident with the Rigelian customs officers. "Hold my beer," he said to Lily, pressing the bottle into her trembling hands. What happened next would be debated in cantinas across the galaxy for decades to come. Jackson didn't run. He didn't scream. Instead, he stood up slowly and looked directly into the hunter's 6 glowing eyes. "You know what, buddy? I've had a really long day. My cargo hauler broke down 3 systems ago. I've been eating nothing but protein paste for a week, and I just wanted to enjoy one decent beer with my friend here." The Carnsey hunter paused, its head tilting slightly. In all its cycles of hunting across the galaxy, no prey had ever addressed it so casually. Jackson continued, his voice growing stronger. "So here's what's going to happen. You're going to turn around, walk out of here, and find someone else to intimidate, because I am not in the mood." The hunter's mandibles clicked rapidly, what passed for laughter among its species. It leaned closer, its breath reeking of sulfur and death. "You amuse me, little human," it rumbled in perfect galactic standard. "Do you know what I am?" "Yeah," Jackson replied, not backing down an inch. "You're something that bleeds." For a moment, the universe held its breath. Then Jackson did something completely unprecedented in the annals of galactic predator encounters. He flicked the hunter right on its nose. The gesture was so unexpected, so absurd, that the hunter actually stumbled backward in confusion. No prey in its centuries of existence had ever shown such casual disrespect. It was like a mouse challenging a lion to arm wrestling. "That's for ruining my evening," Jackson said matter-of-factly. The hunter stared at him, processing this impossibility. According to every instinct bred into its species over millions of years, the small human should be cowering in terror or fleeing for its life. Instead it was annoyed. "Your species," the hunter said slowly, "is defective." "Probably," Jackson agreed. "We've got a lot of problems, but boring isn't one of them." The hunter continued to stare, then made a sound that might have been amusement. "Interesting." It stepped back, studying Jackson with newfound curiosity. I have hunted prey across 1,000 worlds, faced the greatest warriors of dozens of species. Yet none have shown such audacity. It's not audacity, Jackson said, finally allowing himself to relax slightly. It's Tuesday. The hunter's mandibles clicked again. Explain this Tuesday. It's a day of the week on Earth, specifically the day when everything goes wrong but you're too tired to care anymore. Jackson gestured to his beer in Lily's hands. Mind if I finish that? It's imported. For several long moments the hunter continued to study the human. Then to everyone's amazement it threw back its head and roared with laughter, a sound like grinding metal mixed with thunder. Little human, it said, you have earned something no prey has ever earned from a Carnsey hunter. What's that? My respect. The hunter bowed its massive head slightly. I am Vexwrath, last hunt of the Crimson Moons. Remember this name, for it will not hunt you this day. Jackson Martinez, cargo hauler from Earth. And this is Lily Chen, archaeologist and the smartest person I know. Vexwrath's eyes fixed on Lily, who managed a shaky wave. Your species continues to surprise. A warrior and a scholar drinking together as equals. That's humans for you, Lily said, finding her voice at last. We're weird. The hunter considered this, then moved toward the exit. At the threshold, it paused and looked back. Jackson Martinez of Earth, it called out. Should our paths cross again, I would hear more of these Tuesdays. And with that, the apex predator of the Outer Rim walked out of the cantina, leaving behind a legend that would spread across the galaxy, the story of the human who faced down death itself and complained about his day. Jackson reclaimed his beer from Lily's hands and took a long swig. So, he said casually, as if 8 feet of living nightmare hadn't just walked out the door. You were saying something about symbols? Lily stared at him for a moment, then burst into laughter. Jackson, you just made friends with a Carnsey hunter by being grumpy about Tuesday. Yeah. Well, Jackson shrugged. Wait until it meets me on a Monday. From across the galaxy, word spread through trade routes and communication networks. Humans were either the bravest species in the universe or the most insane. Most agreed it was probably both.